So I'm 33 years old right now, and to my knowledge, this is the very first time in my entire life that I've ever worked out at my home. And by home, I mean my real home, the farm here where I grew up. So now I live in New Caledonia on the other side of the world, but I'm home visiting my father. And just have some time here to think, and I think and it hit me. Yeah, I actually never worked out at home the entire 20 years or so I lived here. It wasn't really until I think age 26 or 27 that I started working out at home and started working out in general. The message for today is to not take your health, your youth, and your fitness for granted. Prioritize them early on. If I had started working out here and slowly developed the habits of fitness over my entire lifetime, I don't even know what I'd be capable of now. It'd be incredible. Instead, I started like 7 years ago, and I've still come a long way, but I have a huge way to go. And so don't take it for granted. Just start today. Something simple. It can just be a set of push-ups a few times a week. That's good enough to start, to get you in the habit, to get you to prioritize training, to see what the benefits of training can actually be for you and your fitness and your health and your just general well-being and sense of enjoyment in this life. There are a few things more relaxing and more, grounding for me than doing a simple rings workout out on the farm in front of the fields and the lake and the chirping crickets. It's pretty fantastic. Grateful for that. So now we'll roll the B-rail, and you guys have a great day. Thanks so much for watching. Love you guys. So I've never noticed such a profound reddening of the skin as I do in this video. Of course, I spend a lot of time watching videos of myself working out as I'm editing videos for y'all here on the channel. But usually I'm working out indoors in my gym where the lighting is, kind of shit, honestly. But when I'm out here in the sunshine, you can really see the reddening of my skin, how it gets super flushed around the muscles that are working. It's quite interesting, actually. You can definitely see that the traps and the delts and to some extent the triceps are working pretty hard. Or I'm just getting very, very sunburned throughout the set. Who knows? You be the judge. So looking back at those pike push-ups there, man, pike push-ups and overhead pressing, I'm just so weak on these. I find it very, very slow to build strength in overhead pressing. And this is why one of my goals this year is to get the freestanding handstand push-up. I've worked for a long time at improving my overhead press strength, and though I still have a long way to go, I do think I'm pretty close to having the requisite strength necessary to do a freestanding handstand push-up. And it's a goal that's just really motivating to me because it's so hard, and it's just so challenging for me personally. I think it's a cool movement generally, but I think for a lot of people in the calisthenics world, it's not super, super difficult, but I find it so hard. But because of that, it's even more motivating, and it means I have to get smarter and put more effort into it. And so I think it's going to be more rewarding when I finally reach it. So what about you guys? What are some goals or dreams that you have that might not necessarily look impressive to other people on the outside, but for you, you find it to be a massive challenge and you find that super motivating? Let us know in the comments what those are. I'd love to hear what your ambitions are. So back to the topic du jour. It is never too late to start working out or to start a fitness habit. Of course, here I am lamenting that, wow, I wish I had started while I was young, and of course I'd have less of an uphill battle to go. But I think this is the mindset trap that gets a lot of people. They think, here I am in my 30s, I'm overweight, I'm out of shape. But in my 30s, it's very, very hard to get back in shape. My testosterone is falling. I'm losing muscle mass every year. And I think these things are true of the population as a whole, but they do not in any way have to be true for you as an individual. Yes, at some point, as a male, your testosterone will drop at some point in your life, but one of the things that makes your testosterone drop is living an unhealthy life of inactivity, right? Stimulating muscle growth and stimulating cardio adaptations, it's going to minimize your muscle loss. And obviously, I'm living proof, and there are countless other examples of people online who are making gains in their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, probably even their 60s. The way I look at it, I'm making by far the best gains in my life here in my early to mid 30s, and that's setting me up for success for the next 20 years of hard training.
With those ones, it's very tricky to match the second hand because I'm using the second hand as so much assistance on the first hand. So I think what I might start doing next is, instead of going directly to failure on the first set with the first hand, I'll do like half of the set to where it feels hard, but I still have a couple of reps in reserve. Then I'll switch sides, go to failure on that one, and then come back to go to failure again on the first set. I think that'd be a little bit more efficient. But either way, the stretch you get from doing a one-arm pull-up variation compared to the two-arm version is quite different. Feels really, really good. All right, on to the next one. Dips, I believe, are next.
Right, my progress will definitely slow down at some point, but it will continue compounding as well. And the strength and the muscularity that I'm building now will help me 5 years down the road when it's a little bit harder to build those attributes. And so I think the message here is just that it's never too late to improve yourself. It might be too late to, set a world record or be super competitive at a sport. That might be true. But for you as an individual, you can get better from where you are now, unless you have spent like 30 years training extremely hard and making every possible sacrifice to already be the best you can be. If you haven't already done that, then the next 30 years of your life can be your most fit ones. And that's the belief I have, and the belief that I'm trying to present here with this channel. We can do more than we think we can do. It doesn't matter whether it's impressive to other people. Just start doing some sort of physical practice and commit to sticking with it for life, because it will give back to you so much more than you could ever imagine. So looking at these Bulgarian dips, the first few times that I did these in my program was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And over those first few times in the last few videos, I noted that I had a bit of shoulder pain. But as I talked about in those last couple videos, just having a bit of pain at a new exercise is not necessarily a reason to stop doing it. It's a reason to pay attention. It's a reason to be careful and to see how it progresses over time, and probably not overdo it. But it doesn't mean you have to like utterly stop it or not do it with any intensity at all. So I was doing sets to concentric failure in those previous ones, but I was not doing extra drop sets afterwards because my shoulder was just like a little bit sore. So this time we can see I actually add some drop sets. I do some regular dips afterwards, and I do lots of forced negatives and then some isometric pauses in the bottom stretch position. And from this point on, I had no pain whatsoever in the Bulgarian dip, which means, my body was able to adapt to it. I didn't have to be paranoid. I didn't have to add hours and hours of prehab in order to resolve this problem. I just gave my body the time to adapt and continued giving it the stimulus to adapt to. And that was enough in this case. Sometimes you do have to do those other things like adding prehab or like avoiding or modifying the movement. But I think many cases you can just do it, but be vigilant. And that's often enough. Watching back these videos is honestly making me a little bit nostalgic. The chirping of the crickets and the colors of the corn that's all ready for harvest is giving me them feels, man. Oh, to be back in Ohio once again. This is some classic corn-fed boy shit. I don't know if you know, you know. I really like where I live now, where I have ridiculous access to the ocean. But that pretty Ohio landscape is something to behold on a nice September day like this. That's all for today, folks. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate y'all. Take care. We'll see you in the next one. Let's get strong for life together.